Hi everybody, I'm Jen.
I'm Renee.
And this is a discussion about marriage and business. And it's been a week. Today is Monday, November 4th. How was your Halloween? I was out traveling on business. Did any of the trick-or-treaters come?
No, it stayed pretty quiet because it had the lights out.
You were hiding?
The gate was closed. And I was in my studio just, doing my thing.
Yeah.
So it was pretty quiet. I didn't notice anybody around late. I did peek outside. I was out earlier driving about 7-ish, I think, and I did see a few people walking around, maybe an adult with like 2 kids. It wasn't anything massive that I could tell.
Yeah.
After that, I just walled myself up here in the house, and Halloween is just another night. Yeah.
Did your art?
Yeah.
Yeah. Prior to the actual Halloween day, which was what, Thursday? The weekend prior, we were driving around Pacific Grove in Monterey, and there were tons of kids doing like the citywide activity of trick-or-treating.
Like a tree with pumpkins out. And
and they went to all the different local businesses.
Like outdoor display.
The traffic was kind of nuts with all the kids and families, but it was just cute. It was cute seeing them.
Yeah.
So I was down in Newport Beach for the Lisa Nichols Speak and Write Encore. Renee was kind enough to drive me over to San Jose Airport Wednesday so I could get there. I was part of the VIP group because I had participated in her things before, and I knew the VIP group stuff was really good. Saw a lot of people I knew, met a lot of new people, learned a ton about public speaking and personal development and how to write and promote your book, and just a lot of really, really good information. And then Renee was kind enough to pick me up today, Monday, from San Jose Airport. And then we went to our favorite restaurant, Walia Ethiopian Cuisine.
So good.
Hey, FT and Ephraim, Yosef, we love you guys. And those are our twins. They're the ones that own the business with their family, and we just love them. But just catching up on, coming back to work. And here we are, and lots to share this week. Lots to share.
Going back to your weekend,
your
conference, how was it overall?
It was great. It was really great. Brought a friend of mine from here, Melissa, who's in my Toastmasters group, brought her with me. It was her very first time going to something like this, and she really enjoyed it. And we found out we have tons in common and had a really great time being roommates. So that was fun. There was like an 80s party, so, we dressed up with our leg warmers and neon colored clothing, and
it looked like fun. I mean, as far as she sent me a picture.
It was fun.
Saturday night, was it, I think, of you with the leg warmers, jeans.
And like those little fishnet gloves.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That
too.
The little half gloves with the fingers exposed. It was just hilarious. And like, remember the louvered sunglasses? There's really no glass there. It's just louvers, like, blinds. It's just hilarious. Hot pink. But no, it was fun. It was fun. And I could talk about that thing all night, which I have a feeling I will. But yeah, it was a really great conference, and I'm still exhausted. It was like a marathon of emotional and mental exercises. And like Renee, we'll go to a dance convention, and we'll dance for hours over a span of 3 or 4 days, depending on when we get there. We usually dance for like 3 days, and we're competing, we're going to workshops, and we're doing social dancing and sleeping somewhere in there, right?
Sometimes I'm just in the room,
right,
eating hot wings.
And I was dancing at the 80s party for maybe like 10 songs max, but since it wasn't our style of West Coast swing, it was just kind of like bump and grind kind of freestyle, which is super fun, but like, it's not the same for me, so I didn't have my man, and it's a little on the boring side when I'm like the one generating my own movement for 10 songs. I get so bored with myself. So anyway, I left the party, took Melissa with me. We went for a little walk around the little neighborhood we were in Newport Beach, and then came back, and the party was still going, and we continued to have some fun with the party. But no, I mean, anyway, the point I was trying to make is, we go to these dance conventions, and I'm exhausted because we have physically worked. Well, I am just as exhausted coming back from the Speak and Write Encore, which is the finale. It was like the last Speak and Write to Make Millions event that Lisa Nichols was putting on. So this is like the big rah, and it was exceptional.
For her event?
Yeah, she's retired. She's sunsetting it. She's going to be doing
I
other
didn't realize
things.
that.
Yeah, she's
Okay.
sunsetting it. So this
That's
was
a
the
big deal.
last hoo-ha. And it was great. It was so great. And there were people I knew, and then people I had not yet met, but became fast friends with, and just a beautiful group of different colors, different nationalities, different languages, different religions, different experiences. It was a very rich tapestry of humanity in this conference, and I was just honored to participate.
Excellent, yeah.
Yeah, just as
Very
it is in our
good.
dance community. Our dance community is very diverse and a beautiful, rich tapestry, and this speakers community was equally rich and diverse. So,
Nice.
yeah, it was good, but it's good to be home. I missed you.
It's good to have Jen back too. Yeah, I missed her too.
So tell us all about what'd you do?
So my
it's
days,
easy.
my
When I'm
days off-
gone, when I'm gone, he does his art, which is awesome. I was like, the honeydew list is gone. But you cleaned the
Yeah,
house, and I love you for that. Thank you.
No problem. Yeah, I have to, keep myself busy, which is not really hard. Truthfully, just doing, like you say, if it's actually I did have some design assignments to work on. One for one of your auto repair clients, which is cool. A little newspaper ad that turned out nice, and have another gig coming up. I think I mentioned this in the last episode, but it's another illustration type job. There is also
Yeah,
just
you did.
my own day-to-day promoting and working on my own products for my comic books and my paintings and online promotions, and kind of being active in particular art communities or platforms. I was in particular really wrapped up in one particular page for a drawing that I'm doing for my comic book, and so that just took a lot of time, and I'm starting to figure something out about digital,
Oh, yeah?
because I've been working digitally, right, doing my artwork. Have been probably for at least a good solid year, if not like a year and a half, going back to 2018. And the digital art goes pretty fast, but there's certain drawbacks that I can now speak on only because I've been doing it
Oh, yeah?
for a solid year.
Like what?
And I might go back into a little more detail, maybe on a blog post or maybe a separate video. But since we have the camera here now, there's a certain aspect, and since this is a creative talk and discussion as well, I'll get a little bit more detailed with what I do with my art. So I do comic books, and what I have been trained in, self-trained, is doing comic books on paper. Okay, so that's no big deal. Lots of people have done it that way. That's the way it started. But ever since I started working on my iPad, I'm now doing everything, digitally, electronically, like from the nature of when I started. Everything ends up being scanned anyway, so it becomes digital at the end for the output. But the creation process itself becomes, when it's digital, it goes faster in a way that I'm not touching different materials like pencils, pens, ink, paper, rulers, because all that really is just, I do that within the application. The one thing that I'm noticing is that when it comes to creating the art, there's a breadth of interaction and creativity that is a lot narrower than it is working on paper. So as an example, if I'm working on a comic book page, like this particular project, if I have a sheet of paper, it's pretty much a finite size. And I have to adjust how I draw based on what's physically in front of me. When I'm working digitally, there is a back and forth of like zooming in and zooming out, zooming in and zooming out, and it's almost, I'm saying now, almost like I'm recalibrating how I approach and how I draw when I'm zoomed in versus zoomed out. When I'm zoomed out, like on paper, which is like just a single piece, then everything is geared toward working at that size. So there's an efficiency that doesn't happen that I'm noticing when I want to work on multiple pages, because everything is locked up digitally and with this approach. So I'm considering my next comic book that I work on, because the one I'm doing now is wrapping up probably by the end of the year, which I plan to put together and make a print edition. I'm thinking, which will be fun, which will be cool to finally
You guys
get
will be
that out.
interested in something like that, right? I mean, wouldn't it be great to
Yeah.
hold his stuff?
It would be, yeah. I'll put a link in the description.
Hey, okay,
Anyway,
all right. When it comes to fruition.
when it comes to fruition, yeah. I don't want
So
to
if
get
he
too
hasn't
far
done
ahead.
it yet, then
Yeah.
wait for another episode.
But anyway, I want to work on paper, and I'm considering doing it for the next issue, just because I think I want to also balance my art making with working with actual materials. So I can keep a foot in the tactile and one foot in the digital realm. Just tactile as far as like, touch, working with actual materials. So we'll see. I'm kind of experimenting with that. I'm going to formulate, I guess, over the next few weeks to see if that's truly an approach I want to take, because the benefits of working digitally are just, they're pretty fast, but when it comes to looking at an overall workflow, I'm going to see how that works out. So my weekend was mostly making art and kind of having these revelations as I'm working on it.
That's good.
Nothing else outside of that. It was pretty quiet. I had a lot of time to, again, be in my room, come out here. I was going to go to the gym, but I think you and I last went to the gym before
We
you
went right before
out.
I flew out.
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Right.
So
That's right. Yeah. So I
got
was
my butt kicked.
right.
Thank you, Jaw. My trainer is
Thank
Jaw.
your trainer for that.
He's great.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, with the exception of being in all day, or in at the house most of the time we were gone, I took I went out. I got some light. Got some.
Got outside and
got
exercised
some sunlight.
a little
Got
bit.
some exercise. Went down. Saw a friend at a local deli where we frequent for breakfast or whatever for lunch, and it was pretty quiet. Aside from that.
Cool.
Yeah. So pretty much all quiet on the Western Front.
What were your three favorite things about it being a quiet Jen's Gone weekend?
Let's see. I mean, making art is always going to be fun, regardless of whether you're here or there, or we're traveling and I'm on a plane, or I'm in a hotel room, or I'm, somewhere else. And,
You're always a
on the
happy
trip.
camper when you're doing your art.
Yeah. Let's see. The other thing that was a high point was again doing that. The other thing was actually getting out.
It's different, isn't it? Before, when you worked elsewhere,
I was
Before you
driving
started this
8
journey,
to 5, going into an office 5 days a week.
you would leave the house at my request. And you're like, oh, I want to work. Because you had been out all day. And now that you're home all day, now you're like, I got to get out. Which is kind of cute, right? Because he never quite, you were always very patient with me. But I don't know if you really understood why I was like, I must get out of this house at the end of the day.
I get it. Yeah, I get it.
And now that you're doing it, you're like, I need me some sunshine, right?
Yeah, and a lot of it too, this comes down to like
Fresh air.
feeling a
Maybe like a mental break.
mental break, a certain like I've done as much as I can,
Yeah.
or that I feel as comfortable as I want with this particular piece, and then like it's just time to take it. Especially Sunday was a day for like I told myself the day before on Saturday that I need to spend Sunday probably doing less art, and so that's the day when I clean the house.
He cleaned the house.
Yeah.
Look, guys and gals, when you have a partner that loves to clean as much as you do, that is a marriage in heaven. Oh, I'm so happy because he knows I love having a clean house. And have we talked about it? I think we've talked about it, maybe touched on it, but like I can't really function at my desk when my desk is messy. My thoughts are messy when my desk is messy. So there's a direct correlation of if my environment is neat and tidy, my creative process is neater and tidier and more flowing because I am dealing with less chaos, right? So especially because we work here from home, but we're also in a 900 square foot apartment where something out of place is noticeable because it's a small space. And so he knows that I just love a clean house. It just makes my heart happy.
Yeah.
Call me OCD, call me whatever, but don't call me late for dinner. But I love a clean house. And so the fact that he cleaned the whole house before I got home, I love you. Because, when I'm working and traveling, when I'm traveling, I work harder than ever. I mean, I'm already working hard, but then there's, answering client requests, doing all the things I'm supposed to do, and going to my conference, and trying to get sleep, and trying to find time to eat. And stuff. So, you know, out of sorts a little bit.
Also, for me, cleaning is kind of like a way to just kind of check my brain at the
Oh, yeah.
door.
Like when you were saying washing dishes last time, you were saying
Yeah,
that it just
yeah.
lets you just
Yeah, I think I
kinda
talked about it before. Just like being able to vacuum is
chill
just like
out.
it's like my form of walking,
Mm-hmm.
like walking all over the house with a vacuum cleaner and working things out maybe on a quiet subconscious level. Well, actually, not even that. Actually, I should back up. I was thinking about certain things with my again with
Kind of working
art,
out.
with work, you know, and whatnot. And vacuuming kind of helps for me to take an approach where I can like set my mind on some other mindless, mundane task that doesn't require much brain power.
You're cleaning out the dust bunnies.
And yeah,
Both
well,
literally
yeah,
and figuratively, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. But so yeah, so my three takeaways: my art, getting out, and then vacuuming.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. I had three different things, but they were all pretty awesome.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. I have so much to share with you guys. I don't even know if I really can keep it within three, but I'll just try to keep it within three. The first thing that I absolutely loved and I was prepared for was the snap. Now, Lisa Nichols teaches you how to do a snap. Snap is SNAAP, and it's super networking at an accelerated pace. And so she teaches us this formula of how to do our elevator pitch. Because most of the time when we're meeting people for the first time, people are like, so what do you do? And it's like, well, I own a marketing agency.
Speed
or
dating for business.
Yeah, speed dating for business, right? So
Networking.
how do you really impact? How do you get people to salivate? How do you get them to like really want to work with you in a short period of time, and then do it in such a way that if they are not a good fit for you, then you know you give them an out. So if it's okay with you, I'm going to actually demonstrate what a snap is. So I love to provide value, right? I love to share what I've learned. It's like my cup runneth over with knowledge. So would you like to drink? So I actually, this was my second Speak and Write. Last year when I went to Orlando and did my very first Speak and Write in November of 2018, I didn't know a lot of this stuff. I learned it. So when I went this year, I was prepared. And so what a snap is it is an elevator pitch that's just really, really ignited and impactful. And what you do is you start off with the results. So as a result of my whatever, my business, my books, my trainings, my marketing, whatever, as a result of what I do in my business, I produce this result. And that could be as a result, I'll tell you mine in a minute, but like I just want you to structure this. So as a result of my fill in the blank, I produce this, okay? And then the next sentence is, I do this by, list the benefit, list a benefit, list a benefit, right? And then the call to action is, I'm looking for the people that can blank, right? And then the very last thing that you ask is, who do you know? So then that way, if you have told them your results, told them your benefits, told them who you're looking for, and they are not it, you can say, who do you know? And it doesn't put them on the spot. It allows them to think, well, maybe it could be my cousin, or maybe it could be my coworker, or maybe this person that I know that owns X business. So I'm going to read you my snap, and I would encourage you, and you, I mean, anybody can really benefit from this. So as a result of my marketing efforts, my books, and my training programs, my clients are able to reach their next $1 million in revenue. I share their unique story in such a heartfelt way that their target audience, their tribe, can't help but want to work with them. I'm looking for small business owners who are ready to take their business to the next level and who want to grow their business. Who do you know? And so what I've done is I've told you, hey, I help small businesses get to their next million. I do it by sharing their story, plucking at the heartstrings, and I want to help small business owners take it to the next level. Who do you know? So you see how that structure is. So what I did, and I got super smart, is I printed it out on a label, and I put my contact information and I even put my little logo. We'll have to, can we zero? Let's see. You know what? We'll edit in the a version of it. Anyway, so I printed a label with all my contact information, email, phone number, name, website, my snap, because here's the deal. When I give people my business card, they can look at the business card, but that business card does not tell you what I do. It gives you a hint as to what I do, but I wanted to make sure that this snap was written down so people could look at it later and have a clear memory of, oh yeah, she does marketing and I do speaking, or I have a small business and I need her. And this is the result.
Yeah. It's great.
And then, so I put it on this 3x5 card, and then I was like, well, wait a minute, hold on. I'm going to bring my books with me. So I got another label.
Is that what's on there?
Another label, yeah, and it says,
okay.
Speak and Write Special. Get your signed copy this weekend for only $10. And then my website, www.jenniferfilzen.com, with the picture of the book. Now, that's a tinier label. I could have done this better, but I had small, clear return address labels versus mailing.
Reuse what you have.
So I was reusing what I had to save some money, and it worked out okay because I can't say I really sold all the books. I gave a lot of books away because I made some really great heartfelt connections with some people, and I thought that giving them the gift of the book was more important than charging them.
And that's a good point, because I think what you're doing is, instead of like
establishing
meeting someone
relationship
and talking with them,
yeah,
it's like, want to buy a book?
Yeah.
Yeah, it comes off. It's
also when I made a connection with somebody, like, let's look at books. Books are really expensive business cards. Really, is what they are. And the book is not really where you make your money. The book is how you get to know them better. I met this really nice guy named Mac Kyles. Melissa and I met him. We were like all getting snacks late at night, and we were having so much fun talking in the hallway. We didn't want to disturb anybody it was midnight. And so we all had like our bags of chips, and we're all like politely waiting to like stop talking with each other so we could all independently go to our different rooms. And I was just like, hey, let's just all go in my room. And like we all came in and we like all propped up our feet, and we all opened up our Lay's potato chips, and he had Doritos. I'm like, oh, my husband would love you. He likes Doritos too.
What were the other chips? Lay's versus Doritos?
Lay's, Doritos, and Cheez-Its. Melissa had Cheez-Its.
I like all of those.
I know,
I like
right?
all of those.
I was like,
Subway.
Renee is gonna wish she was at this party.
That's the other thing I did. I went to Subway this weekend.
Oh yeah? Did you get your chips?
I got my foot long, and I had half for lunch and the other half for dinner.
I love how easy you are to please. But anyway, so I made this connection with Mac. He's a really, really nice guy from Fort Hood, Texas. And I said to him today, I handed him my book. I'm like, did I give you my book? He goes, no. And I said, let me read you to sleep at night. You know, meaning that he met me and he got to know me. And now I get to like talk to him as he's reading my words as he's going off to sleep, right? And my book is what dancing taught me about running a successful business, and it is for business owners. It's a management book from a dance perspective, and so I was giving it to people who have businesses that I thought could benefit from it. And you know what's going to be cool about it? I don't mind giving away things because, first off, I have an abundance mentality. I know that it will always come back to me, and also too, just the precious relationships that I made were amazing. So anyway, the first thing was the snap, and let's talk about the relationships I made. So Renee and I have this penchant, or maybe I have this penchant, I don't know, because I am kind of the social butterfly.
I don't have a pension.
Penchant.
Oh, pension.
Penchant. Yeah, I don't have a pension either. Although that would be lovely, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be nice if we all had pensions and we didn't have to worry about retirement? Not so when you're self-employed. But anyway, I have a knack for finding all the other happily married couples. I really do. So there were several married couples that were there at this event, one of which is Stephen and Sanji Millett, and they are also authors. They have had me be on their podcast, and I actually made
nice.
a comment. I said, I think I want you guys on our podcast. Wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't it be fun if we brought in other people to our little podcast here? You don't have to just listen to us. I thought that'd be really cool. So
that would be fun.
I invited them to do that. And then I also met this really cute couple in the hot tub. So Jean and Will Duggar are from Dayton, Ohio. And they are adorable. And they have 7 children. And they're just amazing human beings. And you know me, I just love people. I love people. I wish I could take everybody home. It's kind of like, a collection. But anyway, I met them on Thursday night. Right? When we had our VIP, it was Thursday night because the big event had not started. The VIP event was wrapping up. I needed to have like a little bit of 20 minutes in the hot tub before I had to run off to the next thing. And I met them and they're like, oh, this is our first time. We can't wait till tomorrow. So we start talking and oh my gosh, they were so cute. So I invited them to also be on our podcast.
Sweet.
Yeah. So I was just collecting really fun, sweet people. And then, of course, there were people who were single or their spouses weren't with them. But just honestly, the quality of human beings at this conference was just amazing. And
superb.
I met people from Dubai, United Arab Emirates. I met people from Texas and Seattle and Maine and lots of people from Florida.
How large would you say the attendance was?
About 500 people.
That's a pretty good size event.
It's not small by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not ginormous. I think it was smaller.
Did you guys have the run of the hotel pretty much? Was there anything else going on at that event?
No, there were a couple of other things going on, but it was the Renaissance Newport Beach Hotel right by the airport in Santa Ana.
I always remember when we went to a Florida West Coast Swing convention, and this hotel
that was huge.
Had between us there and like I think a knitting
they had multiple
convention, and you had a third party.
Yeah, it was not that big of a hotel. It was a big enough hotel. I think there was a wedding going on near our room because whereas our convention was going on one side, there was a hopping party going on by our room, and I wanted to crash it pretty badly because they sounded like they had a live band. But I didn't. I refrained.
Temptation.
I refrained. But no, it wasn't a vast property, but it was a lovely property actually. It was like freshly remodeled, very modern decor, clean. Oh my gosh, you have me at clean. When you have like completely like nice towels that are just pristine white.
Was it near the water or away?
No, it was not.
Okay.
It was right by the airport. I heard that the water was like 10 minutes away. A lot of the people who are not from California, they were like, must go see ocean, must run around in sand and surf. And that was totally cool. But because Renee and I are lucky enough to live only 7 blocks away from the water.
And it's like even like right behind us.
Yeah, you can't see it.
Yeah.
But, well, I mean, there's the picture. That's Matt.
Oh, that's funny. I was like...
Right, yes. We are on the beach, baby.
I was going to say.
We are on the beach.
Yeah,
no.
I was thinking about the waters back there.
It's down the hill.
But then there's this photo here.
Yeah. Well, we kind of like water. If you could see how many water paintings, pictures, and I'm clearly a mermaid. Yes. Even, we'll have to show them. In the house tour, I don't think we really showed off all the paintings. But if you guys saw the house tour, I'm sure you pretty much, they saw our view.
East stations. Maybe I'll cut some
through the dirty window. Through the dirty window that I need to clean. Whoops. Anyway.
It's only dirty on the outside.
Right. And then the third thing. I want to talk about because it kind of created a ripple for us.
Oh, okay. What was that?
Okay. So let me set it up so you know what's going on. So in our wonderful relationship, we have a lot of trust, and Renee has been so generous in his trust in me. And money is a little on the tighter side because he is starting his business as a freelancer, and when you're in your first year, I'm sorry, you're not usually going to be making the same amount of money that you had been when you were employed by someone else. It is part of the journey. So, money's a little on the tight side. And I even told him, I said, yeah, I don't think I'm going to buy anything. So So I go into this one particular seminar and I see exactly what I must have. I need coaching with Susie Carter. I need to be part of Global Leadership Program. And I see the price tag and I'm like, oh, whew, oof. And I'll be honest with it, it's $30,000. It's a $30,000 coaching program. And I'm like, oof. But I also know that I am positioned, we are positioned to really take advantage of this coaching because we're going to learn more about ClickFunnels. We're going to learn more than we already do about Facebook ads. And we're going to take the marketing to the next level. Like I was sold. And I said, here's my credit card, sign me up. So I do this and I'm doing it in payment plans. So like I had my $5,000 down and then I'll be doing 11 months worth of payments. So do the math. Yeah, I just bought a really expensive car. So, and I didn't check with him because I'm doing this for me, but I'm also doing it for us. And I also know
and
that
it's also a business.
And it's
expense
a business
so,
expense, which is
it's
Rockstar Marketing is my business, and so I normally don't check. But I felt like I needed to check in, but I did it afterward, right? And so I called that night and I was like, so this is what I did. And you didn't get mad, but I could tell in your voice that you were scared. You were like you got to understand, Renee does not say no to me. But when he does say no to me, which is like maybe like 5% of the time, like 95% I get to have my way. But when Renee says no or he acts scared about something, I give pause because we don't argue about money. We don't argue about anything. When he trusts me, but when he's like, then I'm like, so what happened?
Just took time to digest.
Well, but what happened was, and you're so sweet about it. But what happened was is that I'm calling him at night. This is, I think, before the party. I can't remember. I can't remember the exact series of events. But I call you and I hear you, and you go, "Are you sure you want to do that?" And then I got nervous. And then like that night, like I couldn't sleep. I was scared. I was even more scared because he was scared. I was scared. Does that make sense? And so I had to call you the next day. I wouldn't start my day until I had my conversation with you. And I'm like, okay, can we talk about this? And you were so gracious. And so here we are. We were on the phone for like an hour and a half, like talking about this. And I'm really glad that we did. I'm really, really glad because you reaffirmed, like, tell them what you said. You pretty much reaffirmed that you trust me and that you're here. And when I do get nervous, he tends to pick up the pieces. He literally has like held me as I cry because I'm like, what am I doing? Am I doing the right thing? And it, guys and gals, if you have not been your own business owner, and you're not paying payroll taxes yet, and you're not trying to grow your agency to $1 million agency, I mean, it's scary shit. And he's trusting me, and he's not, and you're just now getting away from employee mentality to employer mentality because you're making the transition. So
self-employed.
It's a different mindset when you are collecting a paycheck versus when you're taking risk. And I know that when I invest in myself, I always get a return. It may not be apparent, obviously, and immediately, but I always get a turn. Like my music. I didn't make money for 5 years, but I have a very successful 6-figure annually business because of it. I'm trying to get to 7 figures. You know what I'm saying? But, at the time, I felt like a complete loser, right? So anyway, I think that was my favorite. One of my 3 favorite things is taking the leap of faith of, I'm going to do this program, telling him, getting scared to death, both of us, having a nice conversation. And then I haven't told you this, but after we had our talk, like I was able to like, okay, I got this. This is scary. This is big girl pants stuff. Like pull on your big girl pants and be a bigger, better business owner. Right? But then I talked to other people who have been in the program and they're like, oh yeah, you got this. You are ready for this because we have product. I have my online course, Learn with Rockstar Marketing. You have your stuff. And We have clients that we can benefit from this knowledge, and there's like so much that we can do from grow. So what I'd like to request the crowd here is hold me accountable. Like, if you can cheer me on, because sometimes when we do things that are scary, we need encouragement, right? Because I mean, you're very good about encouraging me and our whole like community of people, but like the more encouragement I can get, because sometimes it's just scary. We don't know what we don't know until we jump into the deep end. And then you jump in the deep end, you're like, oh crap. So anyway, we start our training very soon, and I'm excited, and I really hope this stuff pays for itself, because otherwise I have a very expensive car that I'm paying for in 1 year. Huh. That's how my weekend was. On a different note.
Well, I've told you before that for the most part, like, you're the one, not for the most part, like 100% totally responsible for where Rockstar is.
No, you
Rockstar
helped
marketing.
me a lot. You may have only been recently underemployed.
But starting
employment.
out, you know, she's
Yeah,
the one
it was
who's-
always my business.
It's her business, and she was taking it and building it, and
You've always held my hand, though. 100%. You've always held my hand, and you've always cheered me on, and
of course,
that is so important, because I honestly, he gives me the credit, but I wouldn't be who I am without him.
But I give her total credit in terms of
Yeah.
taking the initiative and the responsibility to create a successful business, because then you see where you've been and how your business has grown, and how you work with people, so that you're not just sinking in this money. You have a history.
I have an infrastructure.
An infrastructure, a history
I have
of
a
making
team.
decisions.
I wouldn't be able to do this like a year ago even, because I wasn't ready. But now I've got product.
Yeah.
You've got product. Like, bring on the sales, baby. And that's how it is, right? Like, we create, and then you want to release it to the public. And the thing is like, even Lisa Nichols said this. Okay, we're talking about what happens in the lifespan of when you launch a book. And this is extremely applicable to artists as well, because you're going to be publishing your book of your newest creation, right? So there's a lot of fanfare that goes on. We're like, I just released my book, yay, right? But then what about the after? Like, so often we give birth to the book, but then we have to nurture the book through all the whole sales process. And a lot of people don't realize that they have to treat the book as the center of a bigger platform. So for example, I'm going off of memory here, and I hope this is helpful and I'm providing value. I could probably go over to my desk and get my notes, but like, imagine my book, What Dancing Taught Me About Running a Successful Business. It is the center of the wheel, and then I've got like different spokes, right? So what are all the different things that I could do to make money with the book? Well, we've actually talked about it. We haven't taken the leap yet, but we could develop online training courses about some of the workbook exercises we do. Like, here's what timing looks like on the dance floor. Here's what timing looks like in your business. Let's have a discussion about it. How can you improve the timing within your business? Or similarly, here's what teamwork looks like on the dance floor. Here's what teamwork looks like in your business. Here are some exercises. What does that look like for you? So if we were to do each module, that's an online course, right?
Sure.
And then there's teaching at live events. So like when we have our Rockstar Summit, we do have a class called Teamwork Makes the Dream Work. And we have these business owners and their spouses dance in a dance class with us, showing them that the leader is not always the leader and the follower is not always the follower. Sometimes the leader is the follower and the follower is the leader. That's what a team does, right? And so there's those two revenue streams: live events, online courses. Then I can do a book tour. Then we could do a podcast completely about discussion of how dancing teaches us about running a successful business. I mean, like, do you see the different spokes of the wheel? Like, there's just so many aspects to it, because really, ultimately, it's just a $20 business card, right? So how do you give life to it? So For example, again, I hope this is providing value. Sorry, the marketer in me is like taking over. Market. So, for example, you've been creating some amazing characters in your ethereal realm. Yes? And so there's the art itself, like each character is this gorgeous work of art, right? And then you're also developing the story around each character, so you can fall in love with just the art itself, but then you can fall in love with the character and the storyline around that,
for sure.
and then you can take those characters and print them out on the nice gaming mats, like, you know, that are bigger than a placemat here on the table, and the phone case. Did you show them the phone case that you have?
I don't have anything with me.
Oh, we'll have to show it to you.
Again, we can edit that in.
We'll edit that in.
Yeah.
Show them a phone case. And then like the flip-flops with that character on it, and a drawstring bag, like beach towels, right? Those are different things. And
Although
then,
I have to interject something
please.
that has been a revelation.
Yeah?
When it comes to my art and the products I put it on, like, I have to use the products that I actually make. So there's a lot of things that I'm going to be cutting out just simply because I haven't used them. So I can't, in all fairness and with all like clear conscience, say you should buy this just because my art's on it. So,
Like,
you know,
what are you thinking about cutting?
like the flip flops, like the beach towels.
Oh,
Those
no.
those are items that I'm.
You don't use them because you don't live in a warm environment where we go to the beach all the time. But oh my gosh, are you kidding me? With all the family in Florida and all the family in Hawaii?
Yeah, but
they would love that.
But I'd rather be able to say that for what
You
I
use
do,
it.
because that's what I want to do.
Okay.
I need to attract people, quite frankly, who are like my people, that are, you know, into
Not going to
this,
be going to the beach?
into that.
Well,
into
wait a minute.
that.
You're married to a mermaid.
Yeah.
I want the beach towel.
I got it, but that's.
Let us know if you think he should keep the beach towel and the flip-flops. I mean, that would be really cool. You know what? Focus group. Find out what people want before you cut things out.
It's true, but I think like I need to focus on what it is that I want, because
Makes you
that's what I
happier.
want to. It's not even what makes me happier in terms of like what I think, you know, is like going to be a hot ticket item, but it has to be 100% what I want to do. Like, I have a phone case, I have the playmats, I have the shoe bags. I have the shoe bags because I'm a dancer. I have the playmats because I use them day to day with my equipment when I'm creating the art. And the iPhone, like,
Case.
iPhone case or the phone case. Who doesn't have
a phone case?
A mobile phone
Well,
device.
we're still working on some people that we know that don't have phones. But yes, most people have a case for their phone.
So 3 items that I can put my heart into, you know, really promoting and pushing
What
out
about
there.
the t-shirts?
T-shirts are a pain in the ass. So
He's right, actually.
yeah, I can't stock t-shirts.
The one t-shirt that I got was just not the greatest quality, and it immediately had a hole in it like the first time I washed it.
Well, it's a
I was
logistics.
sad.
It's a logistics thing too.
Sad.
I can store endless amounts of playmats, shoe cases.
Because they're flat.
Well, one size fits all. T-shirts.
Oh.
Am I going to carry 20
Oh.
larges, 20
okay.
mediums, 20
All right.
smalls?
You're right.
So yeah, so there's also the logistic of it
Oh,
all.
okay.
You know, so it's kind of like I'm defaulting
got me there.
to focusing on items that can like work irrespective of like who the individual is in terms of like, you know, a t-shirt's got to be like this and that. But those items I think are small enough items to carry around, and then seeing how those do without necessarily trying to put out like 20 items and figuring out which one is. I'd rather make smaller movements in terms of like what I think I can use and carry and promote. I think that's for me what it is as far as what's being honest with what I want to promote with my artwork.
That's cool.
So that is my take, and
No.
I think it can change in like you know several months from now. But I did build a store that was called the Fantasy Art Realm, and it's still up. Then I realized it was pulling me in so many different directions. At the end of the day, I need to make art and stories. Like if you whittle down what it is you want to do, you know, you want to create connection, rip tape.
I want to teach and write. Teach and write.
Yeah, there
teach
you
and
go.
write.
teach and write. So like everything I think has to or should be, at least from the creator's perspective, it's got to be something that I'm going to be motivated to do and push out there, and then the money will come.
Right.
And I know that there's business aspects to it all as well that I'm learning throughout this year. But from the get-go, again, the art, the story, what's the message I want to tell? Because I've been working on the story as well. But as far as products are concerned, like Jen would not have made her products if she didn't believe and didn't have like the client base testimonials and successes and the experience to be able to put together a course that you're selling. So same thing with what my approach is in a roundabout kind of way. It's like the products I want to promote should be working to serve the needs or the wants or the desires of the circle first. And then anything that spills outside of that, like a flip-flop or a beach towel, or like I even made some fanny packs. And again, I did order, because
we never really ordered it, but I saw them online. And pillows. You also developed
pillowcases.
Yeah.
So they're cool, but like I had to start thinking realistically, even if it's for these pillows.
The pillows are kind of cool.
They're for the
you know what?
core.
I'm thinking what the girls like, and you're thinking what you like. So don't forget the girls.
No, I'm not forgetting the girls. I draw girls like 90% of the.
But what I'm saying is that the girls might want a pillow or a beach towel.
Yeah, I just think I need to put like butterflies or hummingbirds. No, that's the truth.
Yeah.
But I find the girl within the circle of my scope that wants,
this product.
The demon with horns coming out who's really a good guy, then like that's the person I want. You know what I'm saying?
I got
you. That's where it has to go.
Right.
It has to start here. And this nut has to be so tight, and it has to be built to a certain point that the core is there, and then everything else I think expands from there if I decide to, because if my core isn't strong with the story, the comics, and as a result the products I want to promote within that stem from that, I'm just not going to be excited about it. I mean, I did the fanny packs because I saw that those were a hot item, and then it's like, oh, I should put my art on there because that's a hot item. I don't really care about fanny packs. I don't use them. I would never promote anything that I don't use. Like everything on my website is toward stuff that I can speak to. Well,
I'm really proud of you because you are really narrowing in what it is that you want to offer. And you're finding your happy place. You're finding your why. You're finding what makes you special and unique. And this is what I do, and this is my niche, and this is my lane, and I'm going to stay in my lane right now because I want to develop my lane fully.
Right. I
like that.
Thank you. I'm not saying that, going multiple lanes is anything wrong with that, but I think... But
master one lane before you move over.
Exactly.
There's, in fact, one of the things that we discussed in one of the business classes over the weekend is... Oh, goodness. I'm going everything from memory. I hope I get this right. So... there are 3 phases, right? There's starting the business, which is where you're at. There's stabilizing the business, which is where I'm at. 10 years into it, I'm stabilizing still. You can stay in I found out that you can stay in stabilizing for a long time because you're moving, but you have to because I'm gonna be unstable when Dory leaves, and then I'm gonna have to find new people to kind of fill in that void. So there's that stability. There's stable instability. Does it make sense? So I know what to do and I know how to get there, but I just I wouldn't. And then the third thing is scaling, right? So you don't really want to scale until you've stabilized, because if you scale before you stabilize, then you are going to operate at a deficit and you can get way in over your head. So some people like to start, here, let me see if I can do it from here. Start the business, stabilize the business, and scale the business. So a lot of people, they don't want to hang out here with the stabilization. They're seeing dollar signs. They're seeing, ooh, let's get rich quick. Let's sell this thing. And they jump from start to scaling, and it just grows too big. There's not enough infrastructure to support the skyscraper of work that you are doing. If you're like, I'm using this analogy, like you don't build a skyscraper on a house foundation. You build a house on a house foundation. You build a skyscraper on a skyscraper foundation, right? So if you are trying, you're bootstrapping it, and you're starting with like a little house foundation, but you want to build like a 90-story skyscraper of business on this thing. Holy crap! You know, you might find yourself out of business sooner than you'd like. So what I love about you, I think this is so cool. You are doing your targeting and you're figuring it out, and you're only in month 11. Yay. And it'll be so cool to see where you're at this time next year, and this time 2 years from now, and so on, because you've really come a long way.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so it's a work in progress, right? Always.
Oh, always.
And there's different aspects. Like we were just talking about.
I'm still growing.
We're talking about product. You have your product, but you also have your business, which is a service. And so, like, I'm also an artist that does freelance work, so that's a service.
Some for my clients, some for his own clients.
Yeah, so different avenues. So just because I'm looking at one specific approach for one aspect of what I do with my art, like the product,
that's not the only revenue stream.
It's pretty that's like tight knit, but like the other avenues like graphic design or like general illustration, that's more of like, those are multiple lanes, because that's where I'm probably starting out, you know, where I'm going to find most of my ways to build clients, and use that way to also, you know, maybe expand, you know, get recommendations going out, which could help feed the other you know, the stuff that I'm working on for my own properties. So
it all plays together.
Yeah, I believe everything's in the same sandbox. But there's different, like, you know, hills or whatever you want to call it within that sandbox that eventually, like, it's all contained, right?
Yeah. And we even had, even during the weekend, I hope you guys, again, don't mind that I'm sharing so much of what I've learned. I just love sharing knowledge. It's so much fun for me. We were talking about, some people like to keep their work and their personal separate, and they don't want the two to touch. But we have found, especially with the advent of social media and how things go, that when you are vulnerable and you do allow your work and your personal to touch, the two worlds exist because it's you.
Sure.
There's no clear cut boundary, as you know, you're still the same person. You just have these different realms of influence that you're doing, right? Work, personal, hobbies, health, spirituality, all different, all kinds of things, right? So it allows people to see. I mean, when we went to Walia today for our Ethiopian food, Ephraim was like, "Oh, I love your art. I'm just watching your art. It's cool." Like, he has yet to become a customer, but he knows Renee, and he's like, "Wow, I know a guy who's super talented, and I'm so enjoying your posts." And you're getting some good traction on your posts, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, it's nowhere like where...
More profile views and...
Profile views are good.
Yeah, you know what? Comparing ourselves to other people, that's just dangerous. The fact that you're making some traction in a short period of time, it doesn't have to be 1 billion followers to be worth something. It's just that if we move the needle on the dial a little bit more, then we just get more. And it's some people like to think that it's overnight success crap. Yeah, it's not. Usually when you see an inflated amount of followers, it's because they've paid for those followers, or there's, you know, it's rare. It's rare that it's genuine, or it might be somebody who is newly on Instagram, but they have a 20-year business and a following, and they're just new to the Instagram, so they have a lot of followers. But what's cool, I'm excited about, is that we're gonna like really accelerate and amplify our Facebook advertising knowledge and other social media marketing knowledge and the ClickFunnels, and get that going, because I see it all the time. I'm sure you guys see it all the time, but I don't necessarily know how it works, because see, my happy place, my lane that I tend to stay in is the creative writing part. I'm not the data hungry person, but in this journey we are going to start hanging out with more data-driven people to help get a leg up. And if I have to outsource it, I will. Because why not let the experts do what the experts do, and then I learn along the way. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
like you don't have to do everything yourself. You can outsource it to an expert. And actually, that's smarter, because if you read Michael Michalowicz's book, Clockwork, he teaches you how you have to really narrow down what is the one thing that only I can do, that I excel at, and it brings in the most money / productivity. What is the one thing that Renee does so well that he is the master of that, and that's what he needs to be focusing on. Everything else, delegate it. It's not the queen bee role. It's not the main thing that you should focus on, because it's so easy to focus on billing and going to the store and getting supplies or making sales calls. I mean, all of it's important, but you know, if you can delegate the things that you don't have to do, and then you focus on your genius.
I think there's a trade-off about taking that type of approach like you're describing. Essentially, it comes down to, and I read this, it was a Seth Godin, like it was in my inbox like yesterday
Seth
or
Godin.
yesterday
Love
or
him.
the day before. Like, you can either hire out freelancers and hire 5 people, let's say, to build a website, and one person's really good at design. That person will only do design. One person's good at user experience. A third person is good at coding. A fourth, yet again. And so the only problem is, or the only consideration is, that you give up control of the entire project. Or you can do it yourself if you know it all.
It'll
But
take
then,
longer, and it probably won't be as slick.
and you won't have as many eyes looking at what you're doing. And
Right.
so it's a trade-off of, do you want control or do you want less control?
Right. I had a client call me the other day. He's a potential client. He's like, Jen, I know I can write this content myself. I just don't have time. And I really need to see a difference in my website. And I'm struggling because I know I can do this myself. I said, no, I get it, but you're running a business, and I can knock this thing out in 2 weeks, whereas it might take you 2 months to 9 months. And he's like, yeah. So hopefully we'll be working together.
And that's good.
But it's a time saver, because you know it's return on investment, right? Like, we can do all these things ourselves, but are we actually in a better position? Like,
it takes focus
the
if you're
coaching.
going to do that.
Yeah.
It takes focus, and if your focus is divided and you're doing an hour here, 3 hours here, it might be the reality, but it also probably won't produce the best product.
Right. And for me, I don't know about you, but because you're pretty disciplined. When you say you're going to do something, you do it. And when I say I'm going to do something, I do it too. But there are certain areas where I can have very sexy excuses. They're so sexy, nobody questions them. So like, oh, I'm so busy in my business, I can't go to the personal trainer. Well, we know that I have a personal trainer because I need someone to hold me accountable and kick my butt. I have the most amazing business coach, Vanya, and I love her. And she always holds my feet to the fire, and she does wonderful things for me. Oh my gosh, I just love her so much. And so when Vanya says to me, jump, I say, how high? And then this new thing that we're going to be doing, it's gonna make me stretch and grow in ways, and I'm probably gonna be bitching about how, like, oh, it's so hard, but you know, I'm not gonna grow until I have somebody hold me accountable. And then the 20 group that I just joined, that's gonna hold me accountable too. I'm gonna have an accountability partner. Melissa's volunteered. Like, I've got so many accountability partners because I need it. Because I can easily say, oh, I'm just so busy, I can't get around to that. And quite frankly, when you own your business, you need to hustle like your life depends on it. Because it does. But don't come from a place of, I need to feed myself and it's all about me. No, actually, I know that I can't quit what I do because my clients rely on my expertise and they need me. And because I love them and I want to take good care of them, and I have a team, and I have you, and I have dreams to fill, the reason why I work so hard and I don't take as good care of myself and I don't eat as good food, blah, 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 is because I know that excuses. I know that I have to take care of my community because I love them so much. and I'm here to serve. Oh, there's something else that happened this weekend. Oh my gosh, I didn't think I was going to cry, and I just lost my shit, and I just cried and cried and cried.
At the event because of...
Yes, we were doing a personal development exercise, and it was really like emotional, and I was just like, ugh. So I tend to be the person with the servant's heart, and I always tend to let others go ahead of me, and I want to serve, and I want to, so we sat in a little circle. It was 4 of us. The person who was the subject, who wanted to do a breakthrough, was sitting in the middle, and then the 3 of us are sitting around the person. And so we are changing our negative mental thoughts, and we're replacing them with a new thought process. So for example, my negative thought process might be, or actually this is what it was. It's like, you know what, I don't think I'll ever be rich and successful. I don't think I'll ever have a retirement, because people say that I will, and they see greatness in me, but I don't see it myself, and I really doubt it, and I don't know if it's really going to happen, and so I don't know if I'm ever really going to make it. And I'm always worried about, like, are we going to have a retirement? Are we going to have a retirement? Because when you're self-employed and you're 49 years old and you have a random hair that's driving you nuts, then it's it's scary, because like a lot of our friends are starting to near the retirement age, and I'm nowhere close. Anyway, so the exercise was, instead of focusing on this negative belief, let's have a new mantra, a new affirmation of changing it. So we're going to say this. And so I was going to have this long drawn out thing about how I want to create a ripple effect of joy. And by creating my ripple effect of joy, I will bring abundance to others. And so I thought that, like, when I did my little thing, that we were going to have this little rah-rah. And we're going to be like dancing around because we're all so happy, because like we're bringing joy, and we're like little butterflies, just like, woo! And then I sat down, and like everyone had gone through it, and I was the last one, and I was like, oh, this is going to be a happy one. No tears. So my mantra was, I deserve abundance. No, I deserve overflow. I deserve overflow. I deserve overflow. Meaning that when I give of myself, I am overflowing by taking care of myself, and I can give to others, and I deserve all this overflow because it's abundance that keeps coming back to me. So the mantra became, I deserve overflow. And I thought that it was just going to be fine. And we're shouting it, and so I would shout it, and then they'd shout it in my ear, and I'd shout it like the room was crazy loud, because we're all like chanting what each individual person in the group of 4 is doing. And I'm wailing, and I'm just like, I'm feeling like the disbelief leaving my body, and still having like an argument with the old negative thought process is having like a struggle, a tug of war with the new process. And I have to confess, I don't think my negative process really got out there. I think I still have some of it. I still have some of it. Damn it. I need to go through this again. Does anyone want to volunteer and like chant stuff with me? But the point is that it's a struggle. And maybe it's because I'm using the word struggle.
I was going to say,
it's a choice. It's a choice to look at things differently.
Yeah.
And you can either have it be easy, and there I am catching myself again. Darn it, I keep busting myself.
You know, Gary Vee has this one clip
I'm still a work in progress.
that I saw somewhere, and I actually recorded it somehow. I made a voice memo on my phone, and he says, I forget exactly how he said it, but the message was, if you can channel and close everything out, whatever, like all the noise around you, good noise, bad noise, all this, whatever, self-imposed, externally imposed decisions or dreams or pressures, at the end of the day, or after channeling and closing all that out, and it's just you in your head, if we can get to a point where the person, which is yourself, is talking, and you realize there's no judgment, Because we're judging ourselves. If you can get to that point where there's no judgment happening, meaning if I don't make this, then I lose that. If this doesn't happen, then this is like, then it's kind of like, then you've won.
Dang it, just when I thought I'd made some progress, I'm still at square one.
No, but it's always important to keep the bigger picture.
It is
in mind,
it
which
is.
is basically your our sanity, our health, and our happiness.
The bigger picture.
Yeah.
Another thing that we did was, okay, we did this exercise. Let's kill off ourselves. I'm not talking literally, but like, you know, bam, your life is taken away. Now you're at your funeral and you're seeing what is being said on your tombstone. What did you accomplish? What is it that you want to have it say? So that was a really interesting exercise, because it's like, okay, what do I want my tombstone? What do I want the eulogy to say about me? And the reason why I bring this up is we actually have some friends who've recently had unexpected deaths, and it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking seeing the other spouse like going through the mourning process. It's hold on to your loved ones and tell them you love them, because you just never know. And so death is kind of hitting me pretty hard. And I also,
that particularly.
But the point is like, okay, what do you want people to say about you when you expire? Do you know, here lies couch potato.
You know what? I was watching an interview with George Lucas.
Oh yeah?
And the interviewer asked him that.
No way.
You know what his answer was? That he was a good father.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Again, putting things in perspective.
Yeah. No, that's beautiful. I'm a huge George Lucas fan.
Yeah.
Love Star Wars. And he, you know what? Yeah. Good for him. Good for him.
I thought that was really, you know, just kind of changes your mind, and it kind of makes your mind think a little bit about what it is really. It's like, at the end of the day, what are we doing all this for? No, we don't have children, but at the end of the day, like, it's something to question, you know, ourselves, and just kind of think about it. It's kind of like, you know, we've talked about this before. Like, there's this, you brought up retirement and like, you know, what is it you want to do? So like, for what we do as creatives, we're never going to stop creating. So with Jen, her focus is really connecting people and connecting herself with other people, which is, I think that's where
I love to be a connector.
That is what your thing is. So at the end of the day,
I love that.
Whether you're teaching a class online, doing a workshop, you're dancing, teaching, you're connecting people. So I think it's fair to say that really what you are is you're like a connector, and you feed and, you know, that's what drives you.
It's my happy place.
So that's what's driving her. And so for her, that's like,
Gets me out of bed every day.
That's the whole reason, right? That's
there are two people in this world. There's Jen's friends and those that Jen has yet to meet. That's right.
That's right.
Which one are you?
Yeah.
Become my friend.
Yeah. Okay. So everything that you know she does is with that in mind, is connecting people. And so, you know, no matter how large the goal is, or how it's like you talked about having spokes, like how it's going out.
Oh yeah.
It's always going to be with that in mind. I think I can state that, like saying, you know, who you are as a person and
touching people.
Yeah, and I love that. So, and for what I do, at the end of the day, it's about, you know, I'm an artist, so for the most part, like, kind of opposite to what Jen is, I'm in my own head shit tons a lot. But with that, you never
worry about it.
And that's what I was gonna say. Like, it's never.
Unless I tell him how much I spent on a coaching program.
I've never had, like, I guess I've never had judgment on myself.
You know, that is a blessing. You really are.
Out of sheer ignorance,
and you don't judge other people either.
I don't.
You really, he's like so. He is the guru on the mountain. He is so. I'm not gonna say the word pure, but like pure of heart. Like, you are just the most accepting, non-judgmental. You're just delicious.
I think that what it comes down to is just kind of zeroing in on, like, certain tasks and what I do. And so like what I was getting, I think I got off track a little bit, but
Sorry.
like, no, it's not, it wasn't you. It was like at the end of the day, what I want to do is be creating and making art and then sharing it, you know, for whoever to see and to do. But like, you know, there was a question I saw posed online on a forum somewhere like that said, "You're the last person on this planet. Are you still going to make a drawing?" I'm like, yeah, I will. Yeah.
And my dream is that we are so successful in business that we have a retirement so you can just do art for art's sake.
Yeah, but
I would love
already,
to be able to give that gift to you. Where
I'm
you're
like,
just,
I'm already
you don't
good.
have
I'm
to
already
worry
good
about
with
it.
that. Like, it's always going to be there.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, making art's always going to be there. Whether I was working for, you know, a company for 20 years, whether I was working for McDonald's, like out of high school, whether I was going to college, like I think I'm lucky in that I have that. That's like someone walking outside the door and looking up to the sky and seeing the sun. Like that right there, you can't take that away from them. Like they can see that, like you can't take it away. And it kind of like in a way, my attitude toward making and creating and doing that art, it really is like self-fulfilling. Just the act and making it and doing it, like in so much as I get wrapped up into doing something, like I can't wait to like oh, it's done, let's do the next one, you know. So that's for me is like how I see how we have like this yin and yang in a sort of way that balances, because I think what
It's
happens,
a beautiful balance.
it is, and I think what happens
good
is
contrast, connection, stretch, compress, stretch, compress.
Yeah, we have enough similarities that, you know, that there's like the chemistry and the glue, but like there's enough individual pursuits and attempts and preferences so that it's like a healthy balance. You know, I think that's really important. And so I think when it comes to like knowing like what it is at the end of the day, that who you are versus or along with what I am, means that like we're both kind of like, we know what we want individually, but we're together working towards that same thing in a state of like being together. So
cheering each other on,
and that really is kind of like the core of what we do, and we both enjoy doing that, and that's how we're here.
Lots to cover, huh? We did a
lot.
This
was a good one.
Yeah, this was fun. Well, thank you so much for being with us. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I mean, this is only our 4th one.
Is it?
Yeah. But
okay,
I'm really enjoying them. I mean, like, we already have great conversations, but because we work from home so much and we're so wrapped up, it's like we get to invite others in. It's like, you know, it was funny. I was actually tempted to like break out the chicken and like actually have it like be a simulated meal, like you and I are eating. But then I didn't want to like have you guys look at me chomping on my food and getting bits in my teeth. But like, you know, it's like because one of my favorite things to do is to break bread with people. I feel like when we share a meal together, we really get to know each other well. So, so cheers.
We'll have to make that like an actual like group thing. You know.
Actually, it really would be fun. Seriously? Oh, my creative mind is like going nuts right now. Wouldn't it be fun? Like little group.
We'll think about doing that
group
or
chat,
seeing how that happens. No, like in person.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Like in video.
Oh, okay,
and like the whole, like that would be fun. Would that be fun? Or would that be too much? Who knows? I don't know.
We'll see.
Probably be a lot of editing.
Recording. We'll see.
Whatever. I don't know. Who knows? Thank you so much. It was great seeing you, and we will see you guys next week.
See you next time.
Okay, bye.